Right, joining us now, Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. He is a member of the Foreign Relations and Judiciary Committee. Thank you very much for being on this morning. I guess, first of all, what do you make of this effort to investigate the president and his son Hunter and the impeachment inquiry as it stands now?
Mika, I just want to say something. Your last segment on the cliff on childcare is probably one of the most important issues to our economy, to our children, to our country right now. It's not getting as much attention. I was so happy this show, of which I'm a regular listener, is right on point to really highlight that. We are heading towards a fiscal cliff that will literally send lots of mothers who are out there in their jobs working, unfortunately, without the ability to afford child care, will lose their jobs, will stop those earnings. That's to the billions of dollars. And our children will lose the kind of high-quality child care that's really necessary for their growth and their strength. So thank you for covering that. It's not getting enough attention in Washington right now. It's very frustrating to me. Also frustrating to me, frankly, is to see these unwarranted attacks on the most independent leader of the judiciary that we've had in a very long time, who set up processes unlike Trump's administration, where the Justice Department he thought was his personal lawyers. This is someone with extraordinary integrity and independence. Yesterday, to me, was a mockery of what independent justice should be about.
Senator, good morning. Let me ask you about what's happening on the other side of the Capitol complex there in the House, and that is this effort to get a spending bill done before a government shutdown deadline, which is next Saturday, 9 days from now, midnight Saturday night of next weekend. What is your sense of what's happening over there? And if they send you what they're talking about now, a continuing resolution and everything else they're discussing, what will be the reaction of the Senate?
Well, I'm glad you say over there, because there actually has been an incredible bipartisan progress over here. 12 spending bills voted out of committee in a bipartisan fashion, and you see the kind of commitment we have to getting the government funded. On the other side, I think the majority of folk over there, from Democrats and Republicans, could get something done, but the Speaker, it seems, is being held hostage by a handful of people who have no justifiable reason to throwing our economy into the ditch by not funding the government, which would cause incredible hardship and, again, a self-inflicted economic wound. And for what reason? Really, for what reason? The most profligate, irresponsible budgeting practices I've seen were under the Trump administration, and most of these characters supported that. The largest increase in our debt, in fact, of any president, was done under the 4 years of Donald Trump, and they said nothing. So to say that this is somehow about fiscal responsibility is the height of hypocrisy.
So, Senator, let's get back to the child tax credit that you were just talking about that Mika raised. It was in effect for 1 year, January to December 2 years ago. It was allowed to expire. My question to you is twofold. One, why was such an effective and efficient law allowed to expire when it turned child poverty around by a huge percentage? And what can be done to reenact it?
Yeah, well, these are two separate issues, and it's all about that idea of family values, of supporting the American family, the most fundamental building block of our democracy. And in 1 year, we're going to see the destruction of the incredible child care steps that we took during the COVID crisis, and allowing to lapse the child tax credit, which really helped. About 85% of American families got a benefit. It is technically the biggest middle-class tax cut we've had in a generation. And because it was a fully refundable tax credit, it virtually cut our poverty rate in America in half, our child poverty rate, which reveals the moral obscenity that our child poverty in this country is not inevitable. It is a policy decision. We do not have to tolerate this level of poverty, and every dollar we spend getting a child above the poverty line saves taxpayers about $5, because children above the poverty line have less engagement with the police, have less engagement with hospital emergency rooms. And so here is two policies that was a taxpayer investment in the American family that produced incredible dividends for our economy, lowered government spending, kept us stronger and safer, that we now have allowed to lapse. And that's why I don't understand this idea of family values, the stress and the strain that American families are under right now, making ends meet, dealing with higher costs, the stress and the strain, the constant cortisol in the bloodstream of American families because of economic pressures. And here we just allow two things: helping people have affordable child care and helping people have a child tax credit that is a savage blow to the economic well-being of our children in this country. What are our nation's priorities? Here are two proven policies that made a measurable difference that we've now just allowed to lapse.
Senator Booker, good morning. Jonathan Lemire. A thing happened yesterday that hadn't happened in a while. There was a military promotion voted upon in the Senate. The new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was approved. A couple more votes are in line for today. But your Republican colleague, Senator Tuberville, says he is showing he's not going to give up his blockade. So talk to us about what can be done now. Should Democrats, are you guys considering doing what you've done the last couple of days, taking these individual votes as time-consuming as they will be, or is there something else you could do in addition to that to pressure the senator to give this up?
Well, I don't know what kind of magical thinking he has and what kind of land that we live in, but we were, as a full Senate, in the SCIF yesterday in a classified briefing with our intelligence leaders as well as our military leaders. And amidst talking about urgent issues involving the war in Ukraine, you had the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you had the Secretary of Defense make a strong, emotional even, at least I felt the emotion in the room, appeal to the Senate and to Tommy Tuberville specifically to end this lift because it is is undermining the effectiveness of the United States military. And so this is again, this slow erosion of our institutional norms that don't hurt one party or the other, but hurt the institutions that are the bedrock of our democracy. And here's yet another moment where it's not only eroding norms, never done before, but actually undermining the effectiveness of the United States military at a time that we have crisis points around the globe, need our readiness, and need folks to be focused on protecting our country. So do I expect Schumer to continue to do this? Yeah, we're going to do whatever we can to make sure our nation is safe and strong. And unfortunately, a lot of Republicans, I know, believe what he's doing is beyond the pale and putting us in a more perilous position. So I have a feeling you're going to see cooperation to try to go around him. The problem is that it will take an inordinate amount of time in order to do so. The right thing to do is for him to lift this hold and try to litigate his issues through through less destructive means.
Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, thank you. Thank you very much for being on this morning. We appreciate it.
I'm more grateful for you all in some ways. Sometimes you give me a needed dose of sanity in mornings when I'm walking into situations that just don't make sense. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
That's very kind.
That's much kinder than what other people have said about us. We appreciate it, Senator Booker. Thank you so much.